deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive. Fight for what's right. Fight for your life.
All right, brother. What is going on?
You are going on.
All right, what's up, everybody? All the Patriots in the room. We got a little... Ben might be joining in. We'll see. We'll see where he's at. Kicked off a little later than even we thought, just spur of the moment. Yeah, it's 12:15, 12:13. How's everybody doing out there for this fine Monday? What's going on? Have you watched any news this morning, Woodman? What's the spin? I think there's some...
Got some bad weather out in Texas and Oklahoma. Holy cow, man. Tornadoes out the yin-yang. It's really... you know how it does anyway. It's a trough.
Really?
You know?
So anybody of our listeners in those areas, people are saying, Woodman, what's up? I'll take a minute here. Brian Merriman, Woodman, what's up? Sandy Jones saluting us as well. Q Patriot Robertson, hit the like button, share. Yes, please do. Actually, you just reminded me to share. Real quick, I'll share. So anyway, what Woodman was saying, bad weather. Anybody in those areas, we know we've had a wet record wetness, right, Woodman?
Yeah. They're talking
Midwest, about in some of these areas. Crops are months behind.
That's what they're talking about. That's the big issue there. But remember, we were discussing kind of that, well, close to it anyway. That even if we do have one bad year.
There's reserves.
There's reserves, plus the fact that next year is going to be better. You don't throw in the towel. They're doing fine. President Trump's doing fine. He's just trying to make better deals for everybody, and get the money back in our pockets instead of paying all them guys.
What's up with Iran? People are asking. Rosemary. I agree. What's up? We're going to keep our eye on it. We don't want war. We don't want to go into another war. Are they being controlled? Are they still part of a system? Are they being told, hey, we know that certain people were going over to certain places and telling them not to make certain phone calls and don't worry about him, ignore, delay. He'll go away and he'll be gone in about a year. Then you can deal with us. Our next guy that comes in, just deal with us directly. I know we were told with Kim Jong-un that, phone call tried to come, number was changed. Old Obama was trying to make a phone call, that number got changed, nobody answered. So
is that our female Frankenstein has been talking to him.
I agree.
Sorry, I had to say that. I'm sorry, but she is. She's in contact with him. That's Yeah, they're trying, Mike. It's just not going to work. I don't know what the outcome's going to be with this Iran situation. I can't see them bucking us too hard, because that would just be asinine. Suicide. I don't think it's going to happen. I hope not. We have enough conflicts going on already,
Okay, so we're going to change this up. I'm just going to read a little something here. This is coming from the DC Dirty Laundry. I'll pull up a desktop. I'll just show the... is that 3 or 4? Let's say it's 4. Yes, it's 4. Okay, so bear with me here. General widescreen. All right, The Hangover, they're calling this article. Just like the movie The Hangover. Arizona, Hunter Biden's 2016 crazy drug-induced fiasco. All right, so I'll read some of this. Breitbart News. Matthew Boyle broke news on Friday that Hunter Biden and friends had a wild ride with a rental car, and I covered a story on that rental car, right?
Yep.
That they returned pretty late. The keys were in the gas compartment. Like if you open the gas, the keys fell out from there. So anyway, they found drug paraphernalia, right? The keys were returned inside the gas cap, and lots of party supplies were uncovered inside of the vehicle. So Hunter Biden was nowhere to be found, and this reminds me of a plot from the Hangover movie. All right, so this is not Hunter's first rodeo. Alana Goodman, the Washington Examiner, reported last month on some of Hunter's previous problems. So Biden's son, Hunter, now 49, joined the Navy Reserves in 2012 after receiving 2 special waivers. One because he was 3 years over the age limit and of 40, and another for a drug-related incident when he was a younger man. So a month into his service, he tested positive for cocaine during a random test and was discharged. So Hunter likes to party. Check out what his ex-wife said about him in regards to a divorce. In 2017, divorce papers, Hunter Biden's then wife, now ex, Kathleen, stated she spent an extravagantly amount on his own interest, including drugs, alcohol, prostitutes, strip clubs, and gifts for women with whom he had sexual relations with. So in 2016, there was a wild weekend that was buried up until Friday of last week when our friends at Breitbart uncovered a story that sounds much like a plot from the movie The Hangover itself. There's 3 of those movies, by the way, a trilogy. So Breitbart News has exclusively obtained heretofore reported on a police report from days before 2016 presidential election that described how a cocaine pipe that authorities determined was used to smoke cocaine was found in a rental car returned to the Arizona Hertz location in the middle of the night. Also found in the vehicle were several personal effects of Biden Hunter, the then Vice President Joe Biden's son at the time, likely like 2 of his D.C. driver's licenses, multiple credit cards, and a personally identifying information like a Delaware Attorney General badge and a U.S. Secret Service business card that police said bore his name. So Hunter Biden, according to the police report, had rented the vehicle from a location in California with the intent to return it to Prescott, Arizona location, where it was discovered in the morning that after it was dropped off with the drug paraphernalia and Hunter Biden's personal effects inside. So instead of returning the car keys to the drop box where after hours returns are supposed to go, the car returned, according to the police report, with the keys left in the gas tank compartment. Also found in the vehicle, per the police report, were 2 drivers. I just read that right. So the 2 license bearing his legal name, Robert Biden, as well as some credit cards with the same name, his full legal name, a Secret Service business card, and Attorney General's, all inside of a wallet that the Hertz rental employees discovered, along with a pipe that the Hertz employees thought, and police later confirmed, was used to smoke illicit drugs. A white powdery substance in the armrest of the vehicle. The next morning, according to the police report, a man who identified himself as Joseph McGee called the Hertz rental car counter to inform them of how the keys to the car were left in the vehicle's gas cap rather than the normal spot. McGee informed the rental car company employee, according to the police, that his friend was feeling sick, so they didn't know what to do. When the car was returned, police, according to the supplemental report filed by Prescott Police Detective, thought and obtained a subpoena to discover the source of the Joseph McGee phone call and trace it to a phone number owned and operated by a renowned colon hydrotherapist in the region. Police attempted to find and interview Joseph McGee, but were unable to. And they also, per documents, attempted to call Hunter Biden himself from the phone numbers he provided to the rental car company. Prescott Police Department officials were unable to reach Hunter as well, Biden, during the interview investigation process for the matter. Though, according to documents, they did attempt to call him. One of the Prescott police officers who responded to the initial scene wrote that, according to a sergeant described in the report as Sergeant Small, the Secret Service had informed the local police that Robert Biden had been located by Secret Service and was well. So his father launches another bid into the presidency here for the 2020 race, he's the leading Democrat. Hunter Biden has emerged as a major scandal-prone problem for the former vice president and leading Democrat candidate for the 2020 nomination. Geez, do you think this might be a problem, Woodman? Now I'm thinking that maybe my Hangover trilogy comparison is a bad analogy, but
well, I don't know.
You got your work cut out for you, Uncle Joe. Hunter Biden is no Chris Farley from the movie where his brother was running, and Chris Farley kept messing up, and his brother's like, just get him out into the woods and keep him there until this election's over. I don't want him damaging my...
Right.
So, folks, it is. I mean, if Trump has happened to been answered for all these little things, and I mean, we can't just have... I mean, isn't it foolish to think that Joe Biden doesn't know his son Hunter was in the Navy and maybe he got discharged badly, and then a month later is working for an energy company collecting $50K, and then when Joe Biden steps in again to hold taxpayer dollars from the Ukraine unless they stop this investigation, and he's caught on tape bragging, he's like, oh, I got about 6 hours, and they, before I flew out, and by God, before I left the guy had been fired, and the investigation had stopped. Have you seen that little piece or not?
No, I haven't seen that part, but I do want to say something about the first part we were talking about, about the rental car. He may have an escape because, I was a military policeman, and he might get off that way because the keys were left in the vehicle where anybody could have access to it, and they could go in and plant that. So I think they might use that as a ploy to get out of it. It'd be sad, but we are talking about Joe Biden's family. Push buttons.
Yeah, hold on here. I'm getting this real quick. All right, so I'll show this real quick to you guys. Web browser. Paste. All right, so this is Joe Biden 5 years ago, bragging at the time about
some of his earlier deeds are not getting as much attention. Last year, in an interview, Joe bragged about getting Ukraine's general prosecutor fired. He says he was standing up to corruption.
I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko. They would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting $1 billion. I said, you're not getting $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I looked, I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid at the time.
Well, it just so happens that the general prosecutor...
So there you go. I mean, now there's a little bit more full interview where, they go on a little more, but somebody's like, you're not the president. He's like, go ahead and call him. You're not getting the money. You're not going to get the money. They cut that out. But there you go. So now this leads, back then nobody knew, but now this also leads that his son was on this energy panel in the Ukraine shortly after being fired or let out of the Navy, and you're going to tell me that, well, I didn't know that, it's like, wow, this, and you're calling for another country, leveraging them to fire a prosecutor. I mean, do we get that happening from other countries into ours? Fire him, and if they don't, we don't get a deal. I mean,
right,
this guy's something else. But just to act like he didn't know about that, that's ridiculous. Like what, meeting up with his son this year. How's the Navy, son? Oh, Dad, I got booted out back in 2012. Oh, and that deal that you did where you kind of strong-armed the Ukraine government to fire that prosecutor? Yeah. Well, that helped me tremendously. I don't know if you knew that. Well, no, son. Wow, I'm glad it kind of helped you out. Come on. Yeah. Lots of stars aligning there, Woodman, for nothing to be happening.
I really can't. I can't believe it. He really thinks that we're all that stupid to believe that.
That's exactly right. They think you're that stupid. And what do you guys think about that out there, by the way? Let's look at some comments here. Seems to have clicked off my live stream, but I'll get back in here. I'll look at some comments.
Yeah, I still can't believe it.
People are talking about it. They can't believe anyone would vote for Biden. What do you guys think of the fact that what he did there was exactly something to benefit his son? I've been pounding this in for a week or two, but it needs to be. I'm just curious. Do you think it's a bunch of, how does the people on the left, if they can hear that tidbit, kind of be like, that's worth a little bit of investigation maybe? No, it seems to be up and up. Yeah, we're not that stupid. None of us are, but so I found that funny.
He ought to be a writer. He could make movies.
Biden should write movies for a living. I mean, they might not be real good. They might be a little bit of a B flick budget, but a little Lifetime-ish.
Yeah, that's terrible, man. That's terrible. Come on, Mike. What if you would have got even thought of being arrested in the Navy for cocaine? You'd be out. You'd be out of the service and into brig.
I don't know. Maybe go apply to be on an energy board for the UK, and next thing you know, I'm getting $50K a month. It might have been a blessing, and then as the crookedness of it all comes down, I get protected unwittingly by the vice president. Yeah.
You know it.
All right. So now we got, like we said, we talked about these tides turning and the lies are all coming out. So Comey rats out Brennan, fired FBI. So we've been talking about the flip on this, right? So Comey rats out Brennan, fired FBI chief claims Brennan pushed junk dossier in the IC report. So now they're all starting to unravel here.
Yeah, we were talking about the finger pointing going on.
So Comey turns on Brennan, fired FBI chief claims Brennan pushed junk dossier in the IC. So Fox News investigative journalist Kathleen Hedridge dropped a bomb on the deep state Wednesday, according to Hedridge. There is an email from the fired FBI director James Comey from December of 2016 that indicates it was John Brennan who pushed the dossier to be included in the IC report. A source inside the CIA blames Comey for including the dossier. Former Representative Trey Gowdy says he has seen the email and it does not look good for John Brennan. Attorney General Bill Barr assigned to the U.S. Attorney John Durham to investigate Spygate. We found out this last week, this whole Spygate scandal this past week, that John Durham or whatever is going to get to the bottom of it. So anyway, Pamela Geller is the president of the American Freedom Defense Initiative, AFDI, editor-in-chief of the Geller Report, and Amazon best-selling author. All right, so that was about it. We found that out. That is going to be interesting. So it's funny how all this stuff lies there, like information, emails, paperwork, notes, and they all go out and I think they all rely on the fact that these things are declassified. They're not out in the public's mind yet, so they just spin whatever, hoping that any minute Trump was going to get ripped out of there, impeached, and this would get quiet. But it's gotten down to the final, 10 yards, and things are starting to come out now that show their direct, issues that were there all along, and they just hope that we wouldn't find out. Is that what's going on, Woodman, in your eyes, or? You
hit it right. You hit the nail right on the head there, Buckwheat. I'm telling you what, man. Like you say, we were talking about that. Now they got Pitbull involved. He's known for his good investigations. As far as I've heard, anyway. I haven't talked to the man personally, but he does have an awful good record. Of being, unbiased. It'd be a real, true investigation. Yeah,
he's found people in the folks, we can go on his record back to where he was taking people down, internal government employees that have been corrupted, taken on the take, bad, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, FBI, CIA, legit cases, people have been arrested, doing jail time, prison time. And he's been applauded on both sides of the political aisle. All right. People say, "Oh, Tay buckwheat."
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mike.
It's all right there, Hot Rod.
Yeah.
I like to call him Hot Rod, folks. All right, he's Hot Rod. So, what else you guys got? What else anyone seen out there this morning? Anything else you want to go over, talk about here? We got, we're just about 25 minutes in. And I can go get another little article like I like to do. This is what we do. Normally I kind of skim through these and end up, you know, doing one for you guys. But on the live show, I can kind of do multiple. I got Dick Fokker, 69. What's up, Mike? Copper Kid, need a pick? They're talking about Jesus has many here today. Healing his name is to awaken the hearts of the people. Nice.
Amen.
Lots coming out, folks. Lots coming out. And, like you just said there, I just saw that. Let me see. Violent tornado outbreak, folks, right? Predicted for even today. So we want to kind of keep an eye out on that. We do want to shoot out some prayers, right, Woodman, to the any of the areas affected. Again, I had asked, maybe I wasn't looking. Anyone down there in those areas affected by these tornadoes last night, throughout the late night, well, yesterday, throughout until today, let us know down below. A dangerous day for weather is forecast for Monday in portions of Texas and Oklahoma.
Yep.
It's always in those areas, it seems like, right? Because that's Tornado Alley. An outbreak of tornadoes, some potentially long track and violent, is expected today, throughout today into this evening, in the Storm Prediction Center. So the Prediction Center placed parts of the eastern Texas Panhandle and western Oklahoma under a high-risk area for severe weather, the most serious of SPC's 5 risk categories. So the event should result in a significant threat to the life and property, more isolated but still potential dangerous severe weather, including tornadoes and possible surrounding parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, and the center warned us. So schools are closed across Oklahoma ahead of the bad weather. Many of the largest schools in the system in the center of the state, as well as the University of Oklahoma campus, will be closed all day today, which appears to be the first time such a mass closure has occurred in central Oklahoma on the night before a severe weather storm system. So according to Weather Underground. So
it's terrible.
A little clip there.
Yeah, look at that. It's terrible.
Well, what do you think about that, Woodman? I gotta give me a second here to get something organized. Go ahead and talk.
Well, we definitely have to send prayers out. I mean, because we haven't seen it yet, but any kind of an aftermath of a tornado like that, I know what that's like, because in 1965 we had all those real bad tornadoes in our area, and I happened to live at Hunter Lake at the time with my parents, and we were coming home from Goshen and ended up coming over the hill, and there was like 9 houses completely gone. There was a witness that said that our house got picked up and spun out into the middle of the lake and then just exploded. Benjamin, how we doing?
What's up, brother?
What's up, brothers? I was able to hop on in, maybe catch the tail end of you guys' show. Just listening in. Yeah, it's crazy. One of the chatters was telling us there's 23 tornadoes in Nebraska. I mean,
yeah, let's talk.
What the hell is going on, you guys? I mean, geez, is this natural? Is this a small storm system that's maybe being pushed to be a bigger one? I mean, wow. This is some crazy stuff.
I don't know, Hot Rod. What do you think?
Go home. Come on there, Ricky Racer. Let's see what you got there.
Oh, Buck White. No, you guys, That is unbelievable. So 23 last night or yesterday, or are we
That's
talking?
what one of the chatters, one of the guys watching right now, were saying 23 in Nebraska, and I mean,
Harp?
yeah, I mean, dude,
Chris
when have we ever seen
Miller.
this many tornadoes? Or how about that hurricane that came off, left water onto land, and went back to water to charge up, and then came back onto land? I've never seen that ever happen in my life before. So, yeah, they got the Doppler and they got the harp, and I mean, they know what's up. They know how to control that kind of stuff. So,
Yep.
it's crazy what they're trying to do. And this is, I think, our last episode, there was a caller that briefly touched on that, to where there is a lot of flooding going on. And is it our normal 100-year flood, or it's the 100-year cycle, whatever they around? And this is nearly 40 preliminary tornadoes reported across Nebraska and Kansas to the end of the past week, and several record continuing Saturday. So how so much? You see, there's a concentration in this area. I mean, we know this is the tornado beltway, right? This is the tornado alley area. But again,
Crazy.
High heat will be another big weather story as May continues, as Memorial Day weekend rolls in. Look for a death ridge of heat in the southeast. Forecasters have warned extreme heat and very dry conditions for extended period of time, 6 to 10 days averages, are 8 to 10 Fahrenheit above normal in the ensemble mean. Meteorologists tweeted huge signals for record highs and long durations.
I would agree with a lot of you guys in the chat right now. Geoengineering. Yep, still got chemtrails. I mean, this is almost like, this is what happens when you start messing with the weather. And I mean, you take a small event, a season, to where a little bit of low pressure and some heat mixed with a little bit of cold air coming off this area, gets a nice little tornado, but not 40, not upwards of 40 tornadoes touching down in one area. This is that's crazy.
Yep. I hope my daughter's okay. She lives out there, Oklahoma, Arkansas line. Hope she's doing okay.
Yeah. All of our prayers go out to you guys out there in Middle America, Arkansas, Kansas, in all those areas, man. I mean, this is crazy times for you guys. Obviously, hunker together, neighbor helping neighbor is what we talk about. Don't be waiting for somebody to come help you and help sandbag and get this stuff going for things of this. You talk, bearing one with your neighbor,
Right,
Yes.
right. Exactly.
Let me see here.
Yep, DARPA, I agree, man. Shoot. They say, yeah, the heat, extreme cold. Look what happened this last winter here in in Middle America. Some of what we got in Illinois and Wisconsin and Michigan, Indiana. What is it? The old Minnesota. They're getting like record -50, -40. This is like, well, this is record stuff. And then now they're talking crazy weather and how much tornadoes and hurricanes, and now they're saying going to be record heat this summer, record heat. And it's like, at what point in time are we going to start to recognize that this isn't normal behavior? And you can't say, oh, well, it's because mankind's been putting carbon and then global warming and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't happen within a couple of years, people. I think, well, it's been happening since the dawn of mankind. We know they've been engineering the weather. I mean, I think we talked about this too, Woodman, out in Vietnam, where they were making it rain and nonstop and rain and rain and rain and rain and rain and rain, hopefully to break the supply chain of logistics. And oh man, and it was like, you think to yourself, if that's just something so simple to make it rain all the time, I wonder what else they can do since that time. What do you think,
Right.
Woodman?
Right, you are quite correct, man. Here's a bad thing. They're still not sharing any of this information with us. We have to depend on leaks and stuff like that to even hear about that. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But, they stay in control that way. I hope everything by the end of next year or two everything gets straightened out good enough to where we can really be, it'll be visual. You know, people will actually see changes, because we got to turn this around. We got too many people. Now, I can't say Democrats because there's Republicans too, but
Yeah, it crosses both party aisles.
you got to get rid of this evil stuff. You know, just one bad apple can ruin a whole bushel. You know.
What's that say? You go ahead and read this. People have been asking a lot about Iran, so maybe this will. What you got there, Ben?
President Trump is tired of advisors goading him into starting war with Iran. Trump ran for president on a platform against the Iraq war and does not want to repeat the similar mistake.
Now, this is 4 days ago. We'll read a little bit of it here. Go ahead.
President Donald Trump is reportedly getting frustrated with his aides, who are growing more hawkish towards an Iran war. Sabotage attacks, in quotes, hit Saudi oil tankers in the Gulf of Oman earlier this week. Iran has been fingered as the culprit for the attacks by unnamed U.S. intelligence officials and the corporate fake news media without any evidence being offered to the public. The pretense has been set for the U.S. to get into another regime change war in Iran, but Trump still remains hesitant despite hawkish officials such as National Security Advisor John Bolton pushing our conflict. This is amazing. They want war. These people want war. War is good. They like the death. They like the carnage. They have the bandages. They have the bullets.
Well, they don't go themselves. Why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's good money.
Yeah, they don't get stuff. Push everybody over there. We don't care, man. We need to thin out our country anyway a little bit. You know, same with the other people. Thin them out. We've got too many people on Earth. You'll say, you know.
Yeah, look at this. You wanted a better deal with Iran. Looks like you're going to get a war instead. That's what happens when you listen to the mustache. Good luck in 2020.
So that was Hishmodian Ashina, a senior advisor to the Iranian President Hassan Rouhani, wrote the following to Trump in a Twitter post on Tuesday. So, okay, it's time to end the forever war. South Bend, Indiana mayor and 2020 presidential hopeful Pete Buttigieg wrote Buttigieg everywhere. Buttigieg wrote in the Twitter post, but this is in the White House. Some of the other same people who got us into the Iraq war now seem ready to stoke a new conflict. It's another reason Congress must reassert its war powers. All right, so interesting.
I think you guys all know that the evil side love war, and those of us who want peace and to just raise our family in peace and tranquility and get along with our neighbors are not for war, or for sovereignty.
Here you go, Ben. Read this one.
Hey, here we go. Former Michigan Congressman on Rashid Tlaib fake residency scandal. Hook her up to a lie detector, old Patrick Howley says. Oh my gosh. A former U.S. Congressman from the state of Michigan said that Rashid Tlaib should undergo a lie detector test after we revealed that she illegally lied about her address and run for office, that she represented a state house district she did not live in, and that she lied about her address on her voter registration form. Her own father even called her out for the lie. It appears that Democrats and some Republicans can't run on their own merits, stated former Michigan 11th District Republican Congressman Carrie Bentavolano. Hook her up to a lie detector before she gives her next speech, Bentavolano said, referring to the Rashid Tlaib residency scandal. Then again, some voters like the sweet nothings whispered in their ears, Bentavolano remarked.
So here's what the evidence.
Gosh, you guys.
Here's what the evidence presented below proves. 1. Rashid Tlaib registered to vote at a false address. As she embarked on her first political campaign, registering to vote using a false address is a number one crime one of the number one crimes that fall into the voter fraud category, all right? Number 2, Talib ran for representative the 12th district in Michigan House of Representatives, even though she was not a resident of that district. 3, records show that Talib was an absentee owner at the Detroit house she claimed to live in. And 4, Talib moved to her official Detroit apartment address, which she reported to the FEC after the election at the start of her 2018 campaign. Her new address was recorded for the first time one day before she announced her campaign for Congress. Michigan law maintains that the state representatives must live in a district they represent, and federal law holds that a person who lies about their address on a voter registration forms can be prosecuted. So this comes Michigan Election Law Act 116 of the 1954, Section 168.161. Go ahead and read that, Ben.
A person is not eligible to an office of state, senator, or representative unless the person is a citizen of the United States and a registered and qualified elector of the district he or she represents by the filing deadline, as provided in Section 7, Article 4 of the State Constitution of 1963. Each senator and representative must be a citizen of the United States, at least 21 years of age, the elector of the district he or she represents. The removal of his domicile from the district shall be deemed a vacation of the office. No person who has been convicted of subversion or who has within the preceding 20 years been convicted of a felony involving a breach of public trust shall be eligible either house of the legislature. Does it go down a little bit more?
Wow.
Yeah, providing false information concerning an individual's name, address, or period of residence in order to register to vote or to vote on a federal election under 562 section. Here's Michigan law. I mean, we're talking residence, use an act.
Michigan determines your residence.
Residence, yes. Oh my gosh.
Go ahead.
So you use an act of foreign and basically keeps her little personal effects, regular place of lodging,
habitually sleeps
residence.
at.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. This is common stuff, you guys. So she registered to vote with a false address. And so I just think, and then you think to yourself, all this stuff that she got quote unquote voted in for, let her better address to run for office. Are the votes fixed? Was that fixed going? Because if she lied about that and that got pushed through, and
now I've covered this. This is just coming back up, which is great. It's great. All right, a little alarm. Okay, so we got Comey rats on Brennan.
by the way, EO2 Dave, lock her up. I appreciate it. Awesome, you guys. Love the donations. You guys always a blessing.
Chat.
Thank you. And I agree with you. Lock
Thank
her
you.
up.
Lock her up. Hashtag lock her up. EO2 Dave. Let's start that little trend again. I'm with you. I agree. Let me see if I can't find a little hit piece on Hillary. Lock her up.
They ought to, hand in hand go to prison. That's what they ought to do. Hand in hand. With that
Nice.
female Frankenstein following behind.
Frankenstein.
Freaking fouling.
I'm sorry. I gotta quit doing that.
Well, I'm not being facetious. I'm serious. I do want to have him lock him up.
Right. Oh yeah.
I agree with you, David Ludwig.
Whoops, I just cut
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Christina Gillibrand claims abortion bans are against Christian faith. What the heck is this, Spinny? Desecrating the Christian faith is a must for the Democratic presidential hopefuls heading into the 2021. Senator Christine Gillibrand, Democrat out of New York, has claimed that the laws to protect life in the womb are against the Christian faith as she attempts to climb from the bottom of the polls in her run for the Democratic presidential candidate 2021. Gillibrand claims that Christian tenet of free will means that women should be allowed to terminate a pregnancy without any restriction from Gov. If you are a person of the Christian faith, one of the tenets of our faith is free will. One of the tenets of our democracy is that we have a separation of church and state, and under no circumstances are we supposed to be imposing our faith onto other people. And I think this is an example of that effort, she said. Gillibrand makes it clear that she will stack the court with pro-abortion judges so that more women are empowered to kill their babies in the womb.
Hey, you could just see it actually, she even told you she's going to do illegal activities to pre-stack the court with pro-abortion judges. You don't like what she says. I'll break the law. I'll push it. I'm going to start swinging my fist. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I thought I also said somewhere in the Bible, thou shall not kill, not that thou must not. Of course, I have free will not to do that either. So.
Well, I'm glad we don't go to that church.
Yeah. No, I think that's the Church of Satan, I believe. Turns everything from the Bible backwards and upside down.
Yep, twisty. Oh yeah, word porn, like you say, Ben.
So did you guys check this one out? That a woman got charged with murder for pushing an elderly man or something off the bus. This is a couple of days ago. It's actually pretty. So, woman charged with murder for pushing an elderly off the bus, freed on bond. A woman who was recorded pushing an elderly man off a bus and accused of killing the senior citizen was freed on bond on Friday. Las Vegas residents are outraged after Chadessa Bishop, who was arraigned on Friday, was released after posting a $100,000 bond. Surveillance footage shows a 25-year-old suspecting pushing the 74-year-old Sergei Foner out the door of a city bus after he reportedly interrupted her profanity-laced tirade by asking her to be nicer to other passengers on the bus.
Hope we don't get no
I'd be all right.
copy strikes on this one.
There's no sound. I'm not playing any sound. But here he is. I guess he was telling her, be nicer, to quit cussing to people.
And look, he's getting his thing
He's
out.
getting off. She just pushed. Boosh. Boom. That dude fell down.
Oh my gosh.
Slammed his ass.
That's
died,
just tragic. This is the youth. This is the youth. I broke his neck right there. Look at this. This is, well, she's 20.
73-year-old man was pushed off Las Vegas bus allegedly by a woman who told to be nicer. Has died from injuries he suffered when he hit the sidewalk. The 24-year-old suspect has been charged with this murder, and she should be.
You know
Yeah,
Bishop was
should
yelling
cry.
and cursing at passengers, and then attacked the elderly man when he interjected. So Foreigner then fell to the pavement and fractured his head and hip when he fell. He later died from the injuries in the hospital, according to Las Vegas coroner, which ruled his death a homicide. Foreigner died from complications from a blunt force torso injuries. So,
Jeez, I tell you what. Look at, and she has a criminal record. Previously committed other.
Let's see that here.
See, convicted of domestic violence.
Where's that at?
Right there below the Bishop, who was a criminal record of previously convicted of domestic violence, was charged with murder, was released with high level of electric monitoring. So she's domestic violence. I mean, it's this is just this is crazy the amount we're getting into. They just, man, you guys, that's
Now that's this the randomness of being an idiot out there, and this lady's all ramped up. I don't know her condition. I'm not making any excuses. I'm just saying, she's on a bus yelling. It sounds like, according to all the witnesses, she was on a tirade of cussing and screaming, and I'm sure might have been some kids and parents are just holding like, this lady, hopefully she gets off at the next stop. And then this old man's, getting his walker, and he's like, you need to watch your mouth. I mean, we've heard it all. I've seen old elderly people who got a lot in my life. And then this girl to get mad and look at him and shove him when his back's turned. He's already leaving, but she just was that mad that he
just from
her.
Yeah, from watching the video, and
she was talking to everybody, and everyone just had to hear it. And then he says something back, not even as nasty. Maybe he didn't say you effing all these nasty. He just said you should be more polite and be nicer. And then she was like, "You talk and then puts hands on them. Where she just got done ranting for 20 minutes to everybody on the bus, but nobody put their hands on her.
Yeah, no, she's a piece of trash. That's a piece of trash right there. Exactly what that is. Has no respect for elders. That's what it is, man. She was raised by people who raised her to be a piece of trash. As you know, it's parents' faults right there. We talk about all the time the desecration of the family in America and values and morals and things of this kind of nature. You know what I mean? By any kink, you think just by the sheer frailty of this older gentleman, you know, it didn't look like he was robust and trying to go, you know, do some perp walking or whatnot on this lady. You know what I'm saying? It's like this guy was that's just tragic, man.
Here's another case of suspendedness. Candace Owens suspended from Facebook after posting facts about poverty rates. So she posted something, Facebook has suspended right-wing commentary Candace Owens for a week after posting statistics about poverty rates, according to the Twitter post. Dear President, my Facebook page has been suspended for 7 days for posting that white supremacy is not a threat to black America as much as father absence and liberal policies that incentivize it. I am censored for posting poverty rates in a fatherless home, Owens said, posting a screenshot of the message she received from the tech giant. So, there you go. Poverty rates among blacks, poverty rates among whites, poverty rate among married blacks. Do not let liberal... Yeah, so she just basically maybe posted some facky and got real banned.
Well, they don't like, I mean, they like the numbers when they talk about how much people need free stuff.
Yeah.
They don't like the numbers. Start realizing
numbers to oppose
there's
that.
a pay gap. Oh my gosh, it's not equal. Like, hey, what about the hour gap? How much more hours do the people work in these? Well, that's we're not talking about those numbers.
We don't like.
I mean, I mean, this is where we say all the time at the Patriot Hour. We try to understand, but it's ultimately we know it's crazy. It's like fire. I don't really try to deal with crazy. I'm not that crazy. I don't think like that. I don't, I like to be, we all like to be logical, rational, not get our information from one source, but from multiple sources, recheck it.
Oh yeah. No, I agree with that statement. So it says here, House Democrats reading the entire redacted Mueller report out loud for hours. Trying to get it in their heads.
Oh my gosh, this is a sit-in.
So it's
I think it was like 11 hours.
Was it?
I think so.
So a group of more than 25 angry Democrats are taking turns reading the entire redacted report from Special Counsel Robert Mueller out loud on the House floor. The group began reading the report that found no collusion between Russia and Trump campaign. The House Rules Committee room on Capitol Hill Thursday around noon, and planned on finishing the 448-page report in 12 to 14 hours. The report is being live streamed, and recording will be made into an audiobook.
Oh wow!
That way, everyone can learn it on the left, and
they're going to be making it into a children's book, and they're going to make it into the back of a book, playing chord.
Teddy Ruxpin can maybe sing it to you.
Buying teddy bears that has the back of the 25-page redacted thing on the thing, and you can have this. And I'll do page 13 as a cape today for this teddy bear. This is just—it's insane, you guys. How crazy these people are getting with this stuff. So you can't publish it, but you can read it aloud on the floor. So they're just reading it over and over and over and over. And it's like, what are you doing? Well, we're really trying to memorize the redacted part. So when we come in and we can start doing more word kung fu and word porn, like who would do that? Like literally, it's, what else do they have to shake at the freedom that we enjoy, and they want to take away so dearly? Thank you, Susan Peterson. You're awesome. All the blessings you guys send us, like we told you, man. It just goes right back into the show, giving you guys a better one for sure. So thank you so much.
Let me catch up on that. I'm looking at the list down below. EO2 Dave, this is the one I caught. Lock her up. Yes, we agree. Stan Venus, $5. Thank you. EO2 Dave again. Susan Peterson. Yes, thank you. Wow,
you guys are awesome, man.
Super chats.
Fantastic.
Why Trump? I'm looking at a few different headliners here. Bernie's mystery Soviet tapes revealed. Biden flips between unity.
You guys were covering that earlier in the episode in the show. Was the whole Biden and his son? It's still a tragic thing, and to think that they're trying to pass that off as milk toast is just insanity. What do you got here?
Trump, if Iran wants to fight, that will be the official end of Iran. Remember that tweet from yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
So later on Sunday yesterday, in an interview with Steve Hilton that aired on Fox News, Trump reiterated that he had no intention of letting Iran obtain nuclear weapon. I don't want to fight, but you do have situations like Iran. You can't let them have nuclear weapon. You just can't let that happen. The president's tweet on Sunday is not the first time that President Trump has thought to intimidate Tehran via his favorite social media platform. In July of 2018, Trump fired an all-cap warning to President Hassan Rouhani, cautioning him to never ever threaten the United States again, or you will suffer consequences, the likes of which few throughout history have ever suffered before.
That's getting biblical threats right there. You know, that's he's serious.
So
that's crazy.
This one yesterday, not to my knowledge, this is proposing what you saw in Iraq with 150,000 troops massed to invade a country, overthrow its government, and try to govern 80 million. We'd like to see the regime change its behavior, but my point about first strike and last strike is the United States is not going to take the first strike here, but if Iran attacks the United States or our allies in the first strike, then it'll be up to America in a time and manner of choosing to take the last strike because our military will devastate theirs. So that's
no joke. And I don't think Iran will never directly attack the United States of America. They're going to attack most likely Israel. It's coming, people. That that's the situation. And who else are they going to attack in that region? Think about it. They ain't going to take anybody else. Then they're not with us. And even if they are with us, it's very tentative relations at best, because of what our president's been trying to do for his trade and foreign relations with these other countries and getting them pretty much off the governmental aid like everybody else was wanting to get back on. So, we'll see. Look to the Middle East. We see what's around there. We know we have very strong ties with Israel. And if anything happens to them, we'll be the very first ones. Not England, not Australia, not Canada, not any of these other countries that have the same ally. It'd be America. So I that would be pretty much my gut feeling of this action, kind of, America or its allies. So we've definitely known that there's only been a couple of people that the Iranians are not too happy with, and that would be the Israelis and the Americans. I mean, that's just,
I agree.
Just what's been happening. So, and I mean, so no matter how you feel, we definitely know that there are things. We have other, allies in other areas of this earth, but again, I don't. They get attacked. I mean, but it's really interesting. Again, what we said, we'll have to see how that plays out. I mean, what you think about? Well, what can we do right now, right here, right now? See how it plays out. This is the nuclear level, and I mean,
that's right.
Will they?
All right.
I just think it's.
You know what time it is?
So it is to the printing
Time
press,
for
to the recorder of man's
We got
deeds,
time for maybe one phone call.
the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive.
All right. Get that number up.
Go. All right. This is a Patriot Hour. This is Mike. Who are we speaking with? Oh, and I hung up on him. I think I hung up on him, or they hung up. I don't know. It was ringing. Maybe I did something.
No worries. Call in again.
back.
I'll give it a little
Sorry
number.
if I-
What's the posting? What 505? What is it? Or 202?
I don't know. They got it. 202-505-5198. There it is. Let me try this again. All right. Welcome to the Patriot Hour. This is Michael. Who am I speaking with?
Mike,
Yes. Hey.
can you hear me? This is EO2 Dave.
Hey, brother. EO2 Dave. How's it going?
What's up?
Hey, I'm doing great, guys. I've been watching you for a long time. I've been trying to hook up with you. I noticed you were in the Navy from your thing on the wall there. I was the CB.
Yes. CB,
EO2
all
is
right.
the equipment operator. So
Nice.
I love you guys. You're doing a great job. This is so important, and
Thank
I
you.
really enjoy watching you. I just wanted to let you know. Okay?
Thank you, brother. Thanks
Oh.
for the all the support. Thank you for your service and awesome
Yeah,
CBs.
fellow veteran.
Yep, I had some good CB friends when I was in. You guys work hard. I appreciate it. Call back anytime, EO2, and we glad that you're part of the Patriot Hour movement. So there you go. That was just
Yes. Right on, man.
awesome support
Fantastic.
of
Fantastic.
Yeah.
the channel.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy. We've seen him off and on a lot of episodes. He's always got great insight in the comments below. And it's like, hey, I don't know, maybe you got time for maybe one more, guys. Maybe
Phone lines open.
something.
So
Phone lines are open. Walk
So it
the
is to the
talk.
printing press, to the recorder of man's
recorder
deeds,
of man's
We like
deeds.
that. Thank you for getting that out, Grandpa C.
the courier of his
All
news
military, great.
look
Yes,
straight.
we agree.
and assistance.
Oh, across the pond. Hello from Germany. Beam Block
All right.
85.
All right.
What do we got here?
Yeah, EO2 Dave. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed.
Oh wow, yes. Keep up on those. I'm not able. I'm trying to keep an eye on everything else.
All right. If you get a call in, you just basically do your thing. I'll stop talking. But yeah, what up, Randy Robbins? All of our mods are awesome, by the way. Thank you for holding that down. That's super cool.
The keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength.
Yeah,
Assistance.
pessimistic pomegranates. I'm supposed to pretend that the massive debt will ever be paid. Yeah, no, we know it's never going to be paid. We know how that's going to go. Hopefully, the gold will break the Fed, and there'll be something that we don't even worry about.
Lines are open, folks. If anyone out there is available, quick shout out,
Yeah,
just
let's
like
get into
EO2. We appreciate it. Thanks for all the super chats.
Oh my gosh, let's still hear it.
The keeper of his conscience.
That's great.
There we go. We got
Here
one.
we go. Here we go. Here we go.
All right. This is a Patriot Hour. This is Michael. Who are we speaking with?
Hi, Michael. This is RDR, Red Dead Rooster.
RDR.
Red Dead Rooster.
Red Dead Rooster. How
Alright.
is it going, brother?
Pretty good, pretty good. I seen an article in USA Today. I was wanting somebody to touch this, where they looked into the whole ordeal about our voting system, and they'd found that our politicians, and there's nobody in there that's not guilty of this, they're robo-writing the laws, printing them out, spreading them across 50 states, and then they're allowing the corporations to come in and insert these laws over the top our voted-for laws. This is treason against us, the people. Period.
Okay.
End of story. If they're all guilty, they all have to go. Why are we talking about them like they're nice people, like they're our friends? They're not. This kills me. I have a child. I want to cry. This is bad. This is not good. This should be talked about a lot.
This was
These
a night.
these people don't have the opportunity to do this to us in this nation, man. You can hear the anger in my voice. This is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we definitely. You said USA Today. There was just an article today.
No, this was a while back. It's been like 2 weeks. I've been trying to get people on this, man. Let me see. I'll try to get you the article right
Well,
now.
yeah, and I'm just for a jumping point off on it. If you can email it or whatever, but we will. So they're coming in. We appreciate the call, by the way, brother. Thank you so much. So
Yeah, you're awesome. Okay, what is this? The voting rights? Whereas he was
yes.
talking about nationwide voting
coming
problems being
in
avoided.
on a massive scale, which I agree, and subverting laws voted. Now, I mean, look, they're already wanting to go to you know, on a bigger scale, we're talking about getting rid of the electoral college. That's the new thing on the left. But local voting laws.
Yeah, if he can send us that. I'm trying to look at some of the USA Today is dealing with the volume a couple weeks ago. But I mean, Mike and I, we've talked about this a while ago about, you know, we've had people try to say, we just need to go back to we need to abolish the electoral and go to public vote. And I'm like, whoa, you're crazy. You don't want like 2 or 3 cities or states controlling the whole entire United States. That's why we have a certain amount of senators in our government for a very particular reason, why there's a very unique amount of them there. So I'll keep on looking at that.
Well, there's been lots of documentaries. I even take it to be like we talked about the whole paper versus the computer. These people not. I don't. You know. Do you trust even the localist? That's where I find a lot of corruption to exist sometimes in these local little, you know, chambers of commerce, basically, or the people that all like, oh, I want to make sure I'm part of the voting process down there at the local fire department, and it's like, well, which, you know.
Now, was he talking about? Okay, now I picked up one up.
But there are some fraudsters, even at that level. Just with the machines, I don't trust. Didn't you have an issue last year, Ben, with yours? It was like, oh, here's paper. You're like, why do I got to do this in paper? Where's a pen? And they're like, well,
yeah, we were filling out the our information they were going to verifying that we are who we say we are, and we had to write down our name, our information on the card. Then you go back in there, then you give them your verification card, and they give you the blank little punch out hole or whatever little thing you fill out with the number 2 pencil.
Yes.
The little tiny identification card. They were just giving us pencils, and I asked them, shouldn't this be in pen so somebody can't go in there and erase something and then rewrite stuff because it's in pencil, right? They're like, oh, I didn't think about that. I'm like, oh, but again, we're prior military, hyper situational awareness. It's a blessing. It's a strength for us, and a lot of people aren't around that. But I found an article. This was in February 6th of 2019. I don't know if what he's talking about. That's a while ago. It says voting rights. Texas voter purge its latest effort to target minority voters, activists say. So I guess they're purging some of their Secretary of State that 95,000 registered voters in Texas may be ineligible because they are not U.S. citizens. Grabbed quick headlines and sprang to President Donald Trump's tweet feed, rekindling fears of rampant voter fraud by non-U.S. citizens.
Phone call. Hold up.
All right.
All right, welcome to the Patriot Hour. This is Michael. Who are we talking with? All right, and they hung up. I'm pretty sure I didn't hang up, or I didn't. Okay, hold on. All right, this is the Patriot Hour. This is Michael.
All right.
Okay,
so
no worries. Yeah, last caller who called in and talked to us about that USA Today article. See if you can't find that and email a Patriot Hour that. That would be interesting, and so we can better research that and answer your question. Because what I do, we heard
this is Michael. All right, we're getting heavy breathers.
We're getting heavy breathers around here. So let's see. The phone number is 202-505-5198. That's our phone number. Give a call in. No heavy breathing unless there's some words at the end of it, and we understand. We got heavy breathers and talkers, but we like them both, not just. Billy Bird Outdoors says 2 seconds of fame. I don't know if you try to call in Billy Bird Outdoors and something happened to hung up. Call it in again, because look, we've already crashed Google Voice once yesterday, and we'll be more than happy to do it again today.
That's right.
Let's do it. Call in.
Call it in.
The keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive.
Fight for what's right.
Stretch that out. Getting ready for the next caller in.
There you go. There you go.
We'll see.
If you guys can't get through, then most likely there's so much awesome Patriots trying to slam that number that we're just breaking the Google, which is awesome. And so that's probably what's happening. Copper Kid, Northern California has 10 to 35 mile-an-hour winds at least every few days. Man, they're playing with your barometric pressure system up in that area. Wind is only we got neutral, they got to equate where it goes, so that's crazy. Yeah, California is a big one they play with out there. You got one of our mods calls it California.
California.
That's what one of our mods out there. He lives out in northern California.
California love. All right, we got a video.
All right.
This is a Patriot Hour. Hello, how you doing? This is Mike. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Mike. My name is Debbie. I'm out here in what I call Scamsville, USA, California.
Oh, we love that.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
We'll have to use that.
I'm in the States, though. I'm in Southern California. We have the little tiny section of Orange County and San Diego. We're the Republicans. The rest of the state, I don't know if they're going to go to you-know-where or not. We're going to find out. I have a really interesting question for you guys. By the way, thank you so much. Our veterans, not only are they stepping up to bring our country whole again, but our retired veterans and, you guys are amazing. Our veterans, even in this movement, are stepping up with channels, to try and get the truth out to the people, help decode those Delta codes at Q drops because it's way beyond my, understanding. Right. I have to watch videos on it. I can't. Gematria code, but biblical Gematria code, I was doing pretty good. Then when they went into Delta, I lost it. I was like, no. but anyway, but you guys know. But anyways, my question is, in this storm that we're in and will get worse, as we know, do you guys think fake news should be the first to go? I mean, how are we going to survive this storm if we continue to allow fake news to run this narrative? They're going to twist and plot and, they're just going to mess up the message, I think. What do you guys, you want to talk about that with our audience? What do you think?
Yes. Thank you so much, Debbie. We're going to, as of right now, the fellas, you can't hear them respond back, so we're going to have to hang up, and we're going to hit your question hard. So thanks for calling. Make sure you call again anytime you want, and we'll always try to get back to you. God bless, and thank you.
God bless you too, sweetie. Okay, thank you. Okay, bye.
All right, bye. All right, wow. So that's a really good one. Storm, fake news. I got a decent. We're always going to have to allow that other side because we have to have debate. Even in with JFK here, he's like, without debate, without criticism, a country can't survive, and no republic can exist. So we're not about shutting down other people. The best remedy to a lie that I found is the truth, right? You stand your ground and you're able to go back and forth. How does the fake news not exist anymore? By the people awakening to, now we've discussed this, Ben, it's tough. People that do spew sometimes what they consider to be fact will live and die by that. That's in the eye of the beholder when we say that. Not so much the maker. We're not using that comment. We're saying the eye of the beholder is anyone that can come forward with something that they truly, truly believe in and will die for. And there's a lot of people on this world that are that way right now. The whole good versus evil. As much as we like sovereignty, free speech, First Amendment, Second Amendment, there are opposers of that with every bit of heart invested into opposing it as we are for it. Would we not agree or disagree on that comment? Maybe.
Correct.
I mean,
correct.
So I don't know. You guys can tackle that one a little bit as well.
Well, I mean, I think we can look back at every war that's ever been fought that we've ever recorded, and before weapons are fired, slings are thrown, arrows are shot, there's always asymmetrical warfare, which is a warfare of words and a warfare of policies and politicians, and so
Of the minds.
rhetoric or of the minds, yeah. So rhetoric and the news and propaganda, that's going to be one of the largest weapons of warfare, and we are at war in many fronts. But the wonderful thing about knowing that you're seeing and hearing propaganda is that you're aware of what's happening. It's almost like that analogy of that one individual who was working with cryptology in the military. He was like, I always like to go to the zoo and look at the snake pens and like get real close to the snakes because I know they're dangerous. I know that if I was in their pens, they would bite me and I would kill them, and I would die from their bite. But there's a glass in front of us, so I'm aware. And it's almost like it's entertaining to look at this crazy thing that could kill me, almost like looking at CNN when I'm at the glass. And I know on the other side of that is just a bunch of den of vipers lying and spitting and doing their thing, but I'm aware of it. And so I think once you become aware of what they're doing, it's so much easier just to kind of look through it and cast it off, so much easier. But propaganda will never go away because people will always speak, and there will always be rumors. There will always be people feel a certain way, and they'll be talking. And if it's not on the news, it's going to be over the water cooler. It's going to be over the t-ball game or the soccer game. And you hear what so-and-so is doing. So I think that's a natural part of human rhetoric, but you can see it getting amped up to a point of almost comedy. It's getting crazy funny.
Yeah, I would add real quick to that possibly they can almost shut themselves down, right? Is that what we're witnessing here? Like they have risen to a certain level of maybe credibility in the past, but now maybe they can also shut themselves down, and that's what Trump is showing after so long of lies and misrepresentation of what's gonna possibly happen, that over time with everything that comes out. And if you keep watching these ones, you're like, well, dang, 3 years almost, they're completely wrong. So that's what it's worth. And if nobody's tuning in anymore, they've kind of done it to themselves. So I think that can shut them down. And then what comes back out to take their place, and how well do they do with following things? So it's a very interesting theory there.
Sure is.
Yeah, no, and it's definitely something that you got to be aware of. And
I think we'll close it down on that one. We'll keep talking
I would
for
agree.
A minute, that was the last call.
That was for sure.
Thank you, Debbie, by the way, for calling.
Well,
in.
Yes.
People really don't have a lot of time to listen to all that stuff, to find out what's fake and stuff. That's why they do the water cooler things, or that's why they do it at soccer games and so forth. It's really a shame, but this is what they've developed, where everybody has to work. They're all focused on other things than what they are doing, I mean, they're really good at that.
Yeah,
Like
they
the
are.
weather, like all the stuff that they're doing.
There's a cycle they want all of us to be a part of, and those of us who, I know all you guys watching right now, or who will come across this video and finish the whole thing, and and if you know and you could see it, then we're just preaching to the choir, So a lot of what we keep on repeating and saying is for those who have a little bit of cognitive dissonance, and they don't really want to ingest this truth to be what it is and see what's really happening. And that's where it's fun. And I love always the call-in, by the way. It's awesome. I love this part of the feature of the show where we can really hear from you guys calling in, and it really does help us really push on to the next episode, next research, the next topic.
And an episode like this wasn't our one that we did last night, which is almost all exclusively call in. This one was just a couple, so we'll always do that. We'll always try to, if we can, take some call-ins if that's what we want to do. There is no rules. We write our own rule book for this, and you guys do as well. So we appreciate it. It was great.
Once you get established with this call-in deal, I thought you mentioned before that once it gets finalized, we can go ahead one day a week or whatever. That way, everybody has a chance to really get to participate. They already know what day it's going to be, what time it's going to be, and they'll be ready for it. I mean,
exactly. That will be a set in stone one that we'll have.
Yes.
But then on ones like this where we randomly all three decide that it's going to work out.
It worked out today.
And then
Yeah,
we could have
it was
a couple of
awesome.
sneak phone calls in too, where people will be like, "Wow, I was able to get in on a Tuesday morning, but not on the Wednesday evening one. That's just too much." A lot of people, I'm just hoping that we could always pull off some phone calls. If not, I think if I have folks last night after we all got off and everything, I looked into the app. The little app thing, Ben, it said we had 780 phone calls total come in. 780. And we only took like 4 to 5 or 6 maybe last night. So
yeah, so we're going to put out as many episodes as we can to get to every one of you guys watching and subscribe. We're going to try.
All right.
That's fantastic.
All right, fellas. Patriots from everywhere. Thank you. God bless each and every one of you. And we'll be back again, of course, soon when we do our next episode, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. God bless, man. Hit the thumbs up, you guys, and like, share, subscribe.
Without
Do
criticism,
your thing, for sure. Lots of love. The best Patriots around on this channel.
and no
Right here.
republic can survive.
Wait, I'm on the wrong one. We're going to keep going here. Whoops.
Hey, what's all good? We did the
So it
extended
is to the printing
outro.
press.
So again, love you all. God bless. Have a good day. This was
Courier of
fun.
his news.
Much love to all of
We
you.
look for strength.
I'm going to say some names here. Bill Bird Outdoors, Papillon,
BB.
BSBS, Jack Rooney,
Yes. Okay.
McMenz.
Without debate, without criticism,
We
no
are David
administration
Vincent,
and no country
Melanie
can
Grimm.
succeed, and no republic can survive.
You guys are awesome. This is sweet. Look at it coming out.
So it is to the printing press, to the recorder of man's deeds,
Crazy.
the conscience,
Peace.
the courier of his
John
news.
Anon, Tim
We look
McElroy.
for strength and assistance.
Goodbye, everybody. Tim McElroy, MH, the mods, the Patriots.
Without debate, without criticism, no administration